essence. And I'm sorry to break it to you men out there, all right? But you're just as gay. Let me not say gay, okay? Let me not generalize here, all right? This whole video is a generalization already, okay? But I'm sorry to break it to you, man, but we're just as bi as a straight woman, all right? This sentence makes no sense unless you're chronically online, which in that case, something is wrong with you. Which if you're also here, something is wrong with you as well, okay? But let me explain my thesis, okay? When it comes to straight women and stuff like that, there are a lot of men complaining online where it's like, oh shoot, a lot of them also like to kiss their friends and stuff like that, and they like to like, deny that it's homosexual and stuff like that, but deep down they know that they have barely any attraction for men based off and the only attraction for said men is based off of social construct and stuff like that. But what if I said that it's also true for said men? All right, I'm gonna give you an example that I've experienced when I was a teenager, all right, with my own friends, okay? Back in 7th grade, I was in a photography after school, all right? This guy, my friend, who I've known for about a couple years now, all right? There was like one day he decided to make this thing, this action, all right? I don't know how the hell I'm gonna explain this, but this homoerotic action, a norm in our friendship, okay? So there would be days where I'd be bent over or something like that. Okay, wait. There would be days. Okay. Okay, but okay. There'd be times where I'd be bent over or sitting in a chair and stuff like that, and to like prove like that I'm gay or something like that, or I don't know what the purpose of it was. He'd stick his finger up my rectum, up my butt, and stuff like that sometimes. And it got to a point where I had to call his parents. I mean, I had to get my mom to call his parents and stuff like that, since their parents like they knew each other and stuff like that. And it became a weird situation. And the weirdest thing about this is that we're both straight. I still know him till this day. We're both straight men. Okay, and that's just like the tip of the iceberg when it comes to most of my friendships back then. We were doing a lot of gay stuff, all right? I remember back in like high school, I always had this friend group, and I guess it's more of a thing where we're comfortable with each other, with each other and stuff like that, but we call ourselves like baby names, like doll names, like pet names and stuff like that. Like we call ourselves baby, we call ourselves boo and stuff like that. We call ourselves like sweet cheeks, you know, stuff like that, you know, all that, okay? And we sometimes, not we, okay, I used to not be like into this. I used to not buy into this because I was low-key like in a little pipeline, but that's besides the point, okay? But it'd be a thing where like we'd sometimes kiss each other on the cheek, like as homeboys and stuff like that. Like the meme was like all around the internet, you know, if you don't kiss your homeboy on the cheek, are you a real homeboy? So we sometimes kiss each other on the cheek. It'd be like, you know, in a straight way, but it'd be a thing where it's like, okay, we're homies, we can do this, all right? And you know, it was more of a thing where, you know, we do these things as men, okay? And we don't do it in a homoerotic sense, but we do it more of a sense to get ourselves like comfortable with each other. And I feel like that communion is can also be found with women, all right? When they're kissing each other and making out with each other. So it's basically like the same thing, but it's more like kind of structured with us men due to the fact that that homosexuality is deemed as weakness, all right? And it's also different for women, all right? So it's more of a thing where we men, we do the same things. And decentering this off of my life, it's also a thing where it can also be seen online and stuff like that. For example, a lot of gym influencers, people not only aspire to be like said gym influencers, but people also like tend to have this innate idolatry and innate worship of these people when it comes to their body and stuff like that. And I feel like that can also be tied to how women also idealize other people's bodies, like and stuff like that. Other women's bodies, like I'm no better than a man, you know, body is tea and stuff like that. We men do it too, but to less of a homoerotic extent, all right? And I feel like in both cases, I feel like when men are saying, oh shoot, all women are being, all women are bisexual and stuff like that, like I feel like they're not seeing the hypocrisy within themselves when they're in their friend group and they sometimes, you know, get a kiss on the cheek from the homies, and you know, they sometimes go to their famous fitness influencers and they tell them, oh shoot, the things I do to sleep with you and cheat on my wife, you know? And I feel like we men, we need to open ourselves up to the fact that we are just like women, but in very, very different ways, okay? And that's really just the point of the video. Straight men are just as gay as straight women.